Mr. President, I have 5:30.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular school board meeting on December 14th. Could we have roll call, please?
Ms. Landon.
Here.
Mrs. Malad.
Here.
Mr. Steininger.
Here.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Here. Could we all stand for the pledge, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, could we get a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Feiler?
Who seconded that?
Katie?
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Ms. Landon.
Yes.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. Next is to approve the minutes of the Thursday, November 2nd regular meeting. Again, if we could get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Ms. Landon.
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. Next is board report and good of the order. We'll start with Pat.
Thank you, Jerry. We have lost a treasured member of the Skyhawk family. Jennifer Whited was a valued and kind kindergarten teacher for Fairborn Primary School who touched many lives. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of the staff members and with the Whited family at this time. There is a GoFundMe page set up for the Jennifer Whited Legacy Project through her mother, FCS staff member, Cheryl Whited, for those who want to keep her in their memory. Also, we have another lost treasured member of the Skyhawk family, Deborah Longstreth, who retired with 20 years plus service as a school bus driver and custodian, lost her battle with cancer at Hospice of Dayton. Deborah's brother, Howard, is a family member of our maintenance team. Our thoughts and prayers are also with the Longstreth family and our Skyhawk family. That's it.
Wendy?
Thanks, Jerry. We'd like to thank you to Fairborn Primary Leadership for the outstanding Family Literacy Night for our youngest Skyhawks and their families. They had an incredible opportunity to participate in educational and fun activities and had photos with Santa and with the Grinch. So thank you for everyone that stayed that evening and made it a great night for our students. Thank you.
Katie?
On Tuesday, December 12th, 169 student athletes from fall sports were honored and recognized for academic excellence at the varsity football game versus Vandalia Butler. All the athletic teams together had a 3.35 GPA for fall, and all athletic teams were above a 3.0 GPA for fall. The following fall activities earned an average GPA during quarter one of 3.0 or higher. Girls golf had a 3.95, girls tennis 3.79, girls soccer 3.78, cheerleading 3.70, girls cross country 3.65, boys cross country 3.55, golf 3.54, volleyball 3.51, soccer 3.08, and football 3.05. Each student name was called and each received a special certificate and t-shirt for outstanding academic achievement. Thank you to Dr. Sue Brackenhoff, Mr. Kevin Alexander, Ms. Denise Riley, and Ms. Dina Kemper for supporting this recognition of academic achievement. And congratulations to all of our student athletes for maintaining such a high GPA.
Okay, Tim?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate our Fairborn Skyhawk Youth Competition teams who won first place at the Bellbrook and the Baker Middle School competition team who won second place at the competition. The future is bright for our cheer program.
Okay. Fairborn City Schools did our student and staff of the quarter last night, And we'd like to congratulate all the honorees and thank them for making our school community a better place. The names and photographs are shared on the district website and on our social media. Next, the city schools music programs are in full swing. In fact, tonight, the intermediate concert's going to be in the auditorium here. We're thankful for our strong music programs at the elementary, middle, and high school level, and look forward to the spring programming. Unfortunately, the the high school holiday musicals did have to be canceled due to the illnesses that we experienced last week. Okay, anything else? Okay. Next, recognition of visitors.
I have nobody signed up, Mr. President.
Okay. Then we'll move on to school board school district presentations.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Browning. First, we have with us from the Greene County Career Center, do a report card update, Brett Dowdican.
Talk in the microphone. It is recorded for,
Posterity.
Posterity.
go ahead and go around.
Just you two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You just told me it's
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brett Dowdican. I'm our curriculum director at the Greene County Career Center. Mr. Steiniger asked me to come sort of present representing the students that are involved in Career Tech. I think we have around 100 students a year from Fairborn that do come over to the Career Center, so they are part of our family and we are part of yours. And so kind of just sharing what a lot of the students are doing over there. We have, so they're doing awesome things and kind of wanted to shine a little bit on them. So what I've kind of prepared for the board is just, it's a technical document, but it kind of has all the information on one page. But our report card is basically kind of in 4 buckets. We have achievement, career and post-secondary readiness, graduation, and post-program outcomes. Our report card is a little bit different than your guys' report card. So just kind of going into what those mean a little bit. For the achievement part, that is our end-of-course exams that we have for Career Tech. The one thing that you'll read on the data sheet is that you see the words CTPD and GCCC. CTPD means Career Tech Planning District. That means that those include not just our programs that we operate, but also the programs that operate here and throughout the county that are run by their home school districts. So sometimes you see 2 numbers for the same metric. But we earned 3 stars. We were 0.1 away from earning a 4-star rating in that, so that was kind of, that one hit a little bit below the belt, you know, seeing that we were 0.1% away from earning 4 stars in there. The career and post-secondary readiness, we earned 5 stars for that component. That is going to be, that actually aligns very similarly to the new metric that you guys will have on your report card next year for career and post, and I can't remember the exact title, but it's around the same thing, career and post-secondary readiness and workforce readiness. Those things include how many of our students are earning honors diplomas, 12 points of industry credentials. We're doing work-based learning, are earning post-secondary credit. So we're really proud of, we try to have a well-balanced sort of set of opportunities for students. So we do offer a lot of CCP, we do offer a lot of college credit. The one sort of unknown fact about the Career Center is about 60% of our students do go on to college at some level or some sort of post-secondary. That might include apprenticeships and things like that. But we do have a very large college focus as well as career focus. Our graduation rate, we're really proud of, is at 97.3. It's one of the highest that we've ever had, especially with all the new metrics that we have that have been kind of thrown at us the last couple of years. That's kind of been challenging, try to untangle that web, but we have been able to meet a lot of those needs, and that requires a lot of coordination with the home schools here, because a lot of things that you guys do here carries over to what we do there, and the amount of communication and coordination between your guidance counselors and our guidance counselors is pretty immense. And then our last component is our post-program outcomes. This was something that was new for your team last year, but we have always done is 6 months after the students graduate, we call them and say, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing, right? And so about 94.7% of our students are either, we call it the 3 E's. They are either enrolled in college, they are employed, or they are enlisted in some sort of service. And so we are really proud of the fact that our students are going on and doing great things. The one thing on the side there, we also have federal markers. A lot of those overlap, but just kind of threw them on there. Just so that's something else that we also get judged upon, is we have to meet federal standards on our report card as well. Again, I'm not going to kind of go into those. A lot of those are sort of overlapping. The other documents that are underneath there, and I'm not going to read these to you because they're really small, but everything else is sort of trend data. This is probably the highest report card that we've had in the last 6 or 7 years that I've been in my position there. And so, you know, we kind of went from honestly like a C school to now we're at 4.5 out of 5 stars overall. So we're kind of at that, you know, and said if we can get that one little bit more, we should be at a 5-star out of 5-star. So the documents that I gave you are going to be just kind of our trend data. And then the last page is sort of comparative data, where one thing that we look at is how do we compare to the other school districts, the other career centers in the region. We collaborate a lot, but there's always a little bit of healthy competition that I think drives us forward a little bit. So, just wanted to kind of share that with you. If I'd take any questions, if anybody has any right now.
Any questions?
No.
No. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for letting me
Appreciate it.
share.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
As the representative on the Career Center, I saw this data last month, and I thought it was critical that we hear it as well. Because we send students here, and they really are students, in a way. We share them with the Career Center. And to see them doing this well in a program that's this well run, I think is a credit to our area and our community and why people come here. Because when you go out there and see our Career Center and what they're doing and the kind of programs they offer to our students is quite unbelievable. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Dowdican. Next up, give us a report here on the Fairborn City Schools building report card is Dr. Brackenhoff.
So we had a chance earlier to share with you our district report card in detail, and we want to share with you tonight our building successes, because that is what builds our district report card. So just a quick overview. We're really proud at 17 out of 25 points, remembering that these measures continue to change. Our overall district rating was 3.5, with us being number 5 out of 21 similar districts. A piece that I wanted to review also is our district chronic absenteeism rate, as well as commenting on some of the initiatives that we have in place. Previously, last year, our absenteeism rate was 48%, and through the efforts of our improvement teams, our solution teams that exist in every one of our buildings, our district absenteeism rate went from 48% to 35%, a tremendous drop. We are basically at the 2021 same rate. Our lowest, of course, was in 1920, which we had half of our students in the building and half out. Attendance was gathered a little bit differently during that time period. So we're headed back in the direction we need to go as far as reducing chronic absenteeism. Again, just a line graph that shows where we are. This is attendance. So the report cards used to report in the positive. We talked about the percentage of kids that attended school. The new report card talks about chronic absenteeism, which is based on absences, kids that meet a certain threshold to be designated chronically absent. But I wanted to kind of bring us back to, focusing on the number of kids that are coming to school regularly. So again, by reducing our chronic absenteeism rate, we have increased our attendance rates, moving up from 87.1 to 89.5, which again is comparable to 2 years ago, and certainly again is moving us in the right direction. So for each of the buildings, each building has different components that they are rated on. The primary building has 2 components. They have a maximum of 5 stars for each of these areas. And the primary building earned 6 out of 10 stars. That early literacy is the mainstay of their report card, but their overall report card rating was the same as the district with 3.5. Remembering that a score of 3 meets the expectations of the state. So we are working again in the right direction, working with the primary and the high school report card. 2 of their big data points looks at past year's performance. So we have to wait for the report card to catch up with some of the growths that are occurring in each of these buildings. Again, the 2 ratings, early literacy, looking at the past, but gap closing, looking at how we serve our different subgroups of students and the growth that they're making. The primary building have 5 out of 5 stars. The primary building's absenteeism rate moved from 44.5 last year down to 31%. So again, a nice drop, and is reflective of the efforts of that building solution team that is researching ideas on how we can improve student attendance by reducing chronic absenteeism. Our intermediate report card is our shining star. They have 4 components with a maximum, again, of 5 stars in each area. They scored 15 out of 20 stars and had an overall rating of 4.5 stars. So they are within grasping that perfect 5.0, and it is dependent on our efforts collectively in literacy. They have 3rd graders, and so laying the foundation between K and 3rd grade for that literacy achievement is where that half a point difference lies. Perfect 5.0 in gap closing, again meeting the individual growth needs of our students and the targets. Their progress component, and then the 2 stars is early literacy, and that measures the growth from the beginning point of 2nd grade to 3rd grade. But as many times happens, the measure changes. So in K through 2, iReady is the measure of growth, and when they get to 3rd grade, the measure is the state reading test, with a 700 being the target score on that. So we're really proud of the efforts of all of our buildings, but want to celebrate that the intermediate building achieved that 5.4 star rating. In attendance, the intermediate started with 45.8 and reduced it to 28.4. Again, the communication, the collaboration with the solution teams and the teachers implementing the suggestions of that team have definitely increased student attendance. Our Baker report card, hopefully there's something else, yes. Baker has 3 component areas with 5 stars each, and they earned 9 of 15 stars with an overall rating of 3.5 stars, with 3 being the minimum that the state would like for us all to be. Gap closing, they had 4 stars, their progress component 3, and that achievement component 2 stars. We find that middle school state testing is a huge transition for students, and those are areas that we continue to work on. The middle school reduced their chronic absenteeism from 50.5 to 41.5, and again going in the direction we want and comparable to scores 2 years ago when this new measure came into play. Our high school report card has 4 component areas with 5 stars in each. They earned a total of 11 out of 20 stars and had a high school rating of 3 stars. Again, the high school is challenged with that graduation rate, which looks at graduation from previous years, not current years. And they have 3 stars in achievement, progress, and gap closing. So a lot more testing that is involved in their report card, but a solid 3 stars with lots of opportunities for improvement. And their solution teams are working not only on absenteeism, but they're working on curriculum areas and ideas for improving instruction in the classroom. The high school was able to reduce their chronic absenteeism rate from 52.3 to 41.3, a very strong decrease in that, and again, moving us in the right direction across the district. Now, that is an overview of our report cards. Again, a 3.0 at the high school, 3.5 for both our primary and intermediate school, and a 4.5 at primary and middle school, and a 4.5 at our intermediate school. So collectively, I think we had a really strong showing on our report card. Our building leadership team and our district leadership teams are focused on the areas within the report card that we can continue to grow in positively. We have had lots of deep dives into this data, and plans are already in the works on how we can continue to grow in the direction that we know we are capable of. So, any questions on our building report cards?
Great job.
No, thank you. Good explanation.
All right.
Well done.
Thank you, Dr. Brackenhoff. Next, every so often, we have to give a nutrition report update. And here tonight is the Food Services Supervisor, Emmy Brown.
My name is Emmy Brown, and I am the Child Nutrition Supervisor for Fairborn City Schools. I have been designated by Jean Lawley and this board to ensure as a district that we are meeting nutrition standards adopted by the state of Ohio. I am here to report that the nutrition department is offering meals and snacks that meet the nutrition standards of ODE, the USDA, and Ohio Revised Code. These standards include limits on sodium, saturated fat, and calories, as well as serving minimum amounts of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, milk, and meat or meat alternates. This report can be made available to the public upon request and is kept at the Child Nutrition Office. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
I love that one.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Well, I'm happy to say that the high school, the new high school being built, is beginning to really come together and look like something. So, with that being said, here to give us a facility update is Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and start with Fairborn Primary School. Last week was our first official meeting with Pepper Construction. Pepper Construction will be the general contractor. He'll be doing phase 3 of that project. Basically playgrounds and parking lots and renovations to the ground and so forth. That work will start in the spring of '24. Equipment will arrive on the site approximately the end of April with a start date of no later than May the 28th. And we actually have to be done pretty quickly in August there, so it's a quick turnaround for to get the kids in there for the start of the school in August. We also have news about the new Fairborn Middle School. We have been made aware that the funding will be available to the school district sometime real after the first part of the year. Tonight in your board packet, you have a resolution to participate in the OFCC Classroom Facilities Assistance Program for Segment 2. We'll go ahead and hopefully get that approved tonight. And then I think Mr. Philo and Mr. Browning, I believe, have till tomorrow afternoon. You'll receive a DocuSign document to get that to OFCC and back to them by the 16th. So we've got
Okay.
till about tomorrow afternoon to get that done. That then allows OFCC to place it on their January meeting. They'll discuss it, have a meeting in January. They turn around in February and make a vote, and we should hear sometime by the end of February about the funding and so forth for that program moving forward. Once that's done, then that allows us to basically start that planning process. Also, there is a board resolution in the packet tonight for MCS and Associates. They're an owner rep company who will help us with the financial oversight through the design and development phase for the new middle school. So on the primary and intermediate in the current high school, we've used Hill International as the owner rep. Being that the middle school project will be a CMR, Construction Manager at Risk project, in CFAP, not ELP. OFCC kind of doesn't recommend an owner rep for se as what we've had in the past with Hill being on site, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and so forth. It kind of pulls back a little bit, but what we've decided to do is use MCS to help us with the financial situation, kind of helping Mr. Burr and myself track that, and then help us with the beginning of that process. We have to start basically by all over again, looking at and asking for qualifications from architects and engineers and start the whole process all over again. You'll see that in your board packet tonight. One thing to bring to your attention with that is that the lady's name, Holly McLean, is a lady that was with Hill International. We used Holly for a long time. She changed companies. Holly is with this company. I feel really confident using Holly and her group and so forth. So my recommendation is to look to approve that tonight. There are board resolutions also in your packet tonight. I actually have quite a few of them in there. There's change order 118, which has to do with the builder's risk claim that we've been discussing for a couple months out at the high school with the loss of power and the surges and so forth. Estimates to fix that damage was right at about $194,000. We received a check within the last few weeks from the builder's risk insurance company in the amount of $164,000 and some change there. We will receive an additional $19,000 check once the work is completed. So basically, we're out to $10,000 deductible. So that has to be ran through as a change order because it's an additional purchase of equipment, but it's basically all taken care of except for the $10,000 portion of that. Also, a huge accomplishment going up and down 675 along the ditch line that you can see the high school from 675. What you can't see real well is there's a huge ditch actually between the stadium and the school and 675 on the backside of the hill there. So they've worked extremely hard to try to get that cleared out, and I think it's helped open that area up and so forth, so you have the entire viewing of that campus area, so that's really nice. Also, the stadium is almost, the field is almost completed, and actually they may have completed it today. I didn't get out there today. They have put the BBs on, the sand on the field and everything else, so I walked it yesterday, and it feels really nice. They've got some clumping that they were trying to take care of. Due to the cold weather, the sand and the BBs clumped together, so other than that, it looks really nice. To walk on it, it's really nice. The second floor, the academic wing, they are completing sling tying, tiles, flooring, and the finished painting. Doors are hung, and they will start to put the door cores, the locking core mechanisms, into the doors when they finish those classrooms so they can keep them locked and secured then. So the second floor of the academic wing is actually in the final cleaning stages for the majority of it, so that's a really good sign. And they continue to make great progress. I have no concerns for any delays to the substantial completion date, which is in late May of '24. So everything else is moving forward. What is not part of construction, but I do want to bring to your attention, is you also have another resolution in the back of your packet for the purchase of 4 buses. I just want to explain that real quickly so everyone kind of understands that. We have already purchased 4 buses with fiscal year '24 money. And we've done that consistently for 6 years, at least 6 years. We have recently found out that Our government will be, I guess, a surcharge of $15,000 per diesel bus starting January 1st. So the company that we purchase buses from usually, and through the EPC, the bid process and so forth, had extra buses left on their lot. And what you have in front of you is basically an additional 4 buses for fiscal year '24. So Mr. Philo has done his magic, and Mr. Burr's done their magic to try to make sure that we're going to purchase 4 more buses for fiscal year '24, but then we will not purchase any buses for fiscal year '25.
Right.
So we'll skip next year. So it throws things off a little bit financially. It's about $500,000.
Right.
But I just want to make you aware, that's kind of why that's on there. We're trying to save the district about $60,000.
That's good.
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to budget and finance. Really, if we could get a motion in a second, then we can talk about any items.
So moved.
Second.
Was it Wendy or Katie?
It was me.
Right?
Yep, Wendy.
Sorry.
So, are there any questions or comments on any of these topics? If not, Mr. Philo?
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger,
Yay.
Mr. Browning.
Yes, motion carries. Next is administrative reports and superintendent recommendations, and that goes to the middle part of page 7. But as we go through it, a couple things want to call out. On the lower part of page 3, there's 2 retirements here. Ann Beeman, who is an English teacher at the high school. There's a request resolution of tribute for 24 years in education, all of them with Fairborn City Schools. And Jennifer Coffey, intervention specialist at the middle school, at the intermediate school. The resolution of tribute for 35 years in education, with 33 of those being Fairborn City Schools. Any other questions or anything on it?
Need a motion in a second?
Yeah. If we could get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Philo?
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger,
Yay.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes, motion carries. Next is gifts and donations. Katie, could you?
All right. The Fairborn City Schools Board of Education would like to gratefully acknowledge the following gifts and donations. Debbie Bourne, a box of clothes and a box of toys for the students of Fairborn Primary. Joan Dautel, $1,000 for the Turf Fund. Fair Creek Church volunteers donated their time to cook and serve at the Baker Middle School 6th grade Thanksgiving feast. Fair Creek Church, $300 for the Hawks Pantry. First Presbyterian Church of Fairborn, food and supplies for Hawks Pantry. Flatter Insurance Agency Incorporated, $1,000 for the Turf Fund. Lowell and Martha Heck, $1,000 for the Turf Fund. JAMA Enterprise Incorporated, $1,000 for the Turf Fund. Jamie's Tire and Service, $2,000 to the Turf Fund. Flo Cricky, $500 for the Turf Fund. The Mayor Law Office LLC, $1,000 for the Turf Fund. Michelle and Pam Montgomery, 100 knitted winter hats for the students at Fairborn Primary. Dwayne Scholl, $100 Turf Fund. TCA Graphics, $1,000 Turf Fund. And Trim's Property Maintenance, $1,500 for Baker Middle School. Thank you very much to those wonderfully supportive members of our community.
Okay, next on the agenda is the item that Mr. Philo talked about being added. I'll read the resolution. Resolution to recognize board member service to the Fairborn City School District. Whereas Mr. Patrick McCourt was elected by the citizens of Fairborn City School District on November 3rd, 2015, and whereas he has served as a board member with his term beginning on January 1st, 2016 and expiring on December 31st, 2023. And whereas he has dutifully served in the following positions during his time on the board: Fairborn City School Athletic Representative, FEF and Alumni Association Steering Committee, Hall of Honor Selection and Induction Committee member, OSBA Student Achievement Liaison, Public Records Designee, Fairborn City Schools Records Commission, and Fairborn Board of Education Liaison to Bath Township, City of Fairborn, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and Wright State University. Whereas he was always honorable in his deportment and his dealings with everyone, and whereas the citizens of this fine community are richer because he served so well. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Fairborn Board of Education wishes to recognize Mr. Patrick McCourt for his selfless service and contribution to the Fairborn City School District. In testimony of their gratitude, this resolution is spread upon the minutes of the Fairborn Board of Education as part of the permanent record of this educational institution in the great state of Ohio. Signed on December 14th by myself and Mr. Philo.
We could have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger,
Yay.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries.
Okay. Mr. McCourt, as your time on the Fairborn Board of Education comes to a close, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your service to our school system over the last 8 years, and technically 2 more of that back in the 90s, I believe, correct?
Yes.
I am most grateful for your active leadership before and during all of our construction projects. Your support for all of the children of Fairborn will never be forgotten. The support that you have given me over the years will forever be appreciated. We'll miss your expertise and your leadership and your great sense of humor. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
You guys wanna do a
I'd like to
presentation?
present you with something here, Mr. McCourt. Come out front. This isn't much for all the time a board member puts in, but as a token of our appreciation, again, thank you for everything that you've done for the Fairborn City Schools.
Disappointed in Mr. Browning, didn't get that word in there.
Okay, next on the agenda is work session.
Board anticipates a short work session followed by an executive session, to come out of executive session, and then adjourn with no further business by the Board of Education. We need a 3-minute break, or
I'm good.
I'm good.
you going? Okay.